to TWF NXT. I am Gene Okerlund, here with Trini Kwan and with Taz. Well, Trini Kwan says, good to be back here calling fights again, even if it's on NXT. Well, it's good to have you back too, Gene Okerlund said. Yes, it is, Taz said. It's good to have you back too. You know, it's TNT. Yeah, I guess you could say that. To play off some funny. Well, Gene Okerlund said last week on NXT we saw the first time fight of Ricochet, and we're going to see him here again on NXT. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Trini Kwan said. Ricochet, there's just something about him. The way that he had his first fight with Medusa, we want to see how that goes. Well, I want to see how that goes too, Taz says. And I hope Medusa shifts him into stone. That's the mean thing to say. Well, now we're here and we got Medusa in the ring. So, Medusa's like, this jerk called Ricochet beat me last week on NXT. Only this time, he's not going to win. This time, I'm going to be the winner of that fight. And I have this thing about how I can shift folks into stone by only looking at them. Which you would actually believe would give you an upside to any of your foes. But apparently that seems not to be true. So, if you want to come out here, Ricochet, and I besmirch you again, like I've been doing all the other times we've been fighting, then good for you then. Because you got lucky. And you won't get lucky again. Well, I don't really think luck had anything to do with Ricochet beating Medusa on NXT, Gene Okerlund said. Even though Medusa has a right to her thought and belief, but I don't think it was luck that happened. That's right, Trini Kwan said. I don't think that Ricochet beating Medusa last week was a luck thing. Well, it had to be a luck thing, It had to be a luck thing. And I'll tell you why it had to be a luck thing. Well, here's Ricochet now. And we'll see if he can actually stand on this. Well, there's a peg, but it doesn't fit. You're putting the wrong real chunk of the foot in. Alright, Ricochet said. You're telling me you think that it was nothing but luck. Ow! Oh, there was luck there. So you were telling me it was nothing but luck. And that's how I beat you. But, Medusa, let's be earnest about that. I know all about you and all about how you can have this skill or craft, you want to call it a skill and craft, of shifting folks into stone by them looking at you. Well, Medusa, here's a little thing you don't know. Apparently Creepshow's back, but I don't know where it's on. I don't know what folkwork it's on. But I'm just telling you that because I think you would actually be right at home on that Farseer show. But it wasn't luck that had me beat you, Medusa. I beat you because I had a more better skill and craft than you did. I guess you're going to say when Perseus first beat you, cut off your head, you're going to say that was luck, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that was not luck. And we're going to have the fight again. Yeah, that might be true, Medusa says. It might be true. Only this time, I'm going to beat you. Ding ding ding. Well, now we got a fight going, Gene Okerlund says. And now Medusa going right after Ricochet here in NXT and body slamming him. Medusa is not happy about taking her loss to Ricochet. Well, who would be lucky to lose to Ricochet? As Taz said, I wouldn't. And Medusa does know how to beat folks. You know, he had to bring up how Perseus beat her by cutting off her head. We haven't seen Medusa in some time. You know, we were wondering where she was at. And we saw her last week, Gene Okerlund said, when she was wrestling Ricochet. In a hip toss, if I'm saying that right. Well, I'll tell you right now, Trini Kwan said, Medusa might think she's doing all that stuff. She might think she's got everything under run. Wait a minute, she doesn't. Ricochet got her now. Ricochet coming from the top rope and down. Well, there goes Ricochet. He comes from the top rope and landing down on Medusa, Trini Kwan says. Good for Ricochet. Not so good for her, Taz said. Come on. 1, 2, and 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Ricochet. So Ricochet has once again beat Medusa here on NXT, Gene Okerlund says. That was just wrong, Taz says. So somehow, someway, Ricochet just buried Medusa again. Truly sad, but that's what happened here in NXT. Medusa got buried by Ricochet. Would you stop saying that Ricochet buried Medusa? I don't think that's what happened, Taz said. I don't think that's what happened, Gene Okerlund said. Ricochet did not bury Medusa. Well, Trini Kwan said Medusa, she did put up a good fight on Ricochet. She came very truly close to winning. But at the end of the day, Ricochet beat Medusa here on NXT. And now we understand Medusa might not be happy with that loss that she took. And just like Vlad Dracula's been having a hang-up with Velveteen Dream, Medusa's been having a hang-up with Ricochet. And I believe that Jim Ross is going to be talking with Ricochet now. And hopefully his cowboy headwear, or head cap, doesn't start being a hang-up for him. Alright, Ricochet, we saw you beat Medusa on NXT, and I think you're one of those upcoming wrestlers that everyone should be looking at. Well, Jim Ross, thank you for saying that. And I'm also here to tell you that, yeah, I did beat Medusa on NXT. Medusa, I'll give her that. She's a good wrestler, she's a good fighter, but at the end of the day, I still beat her. And that whole skill and craft of her shifting folks into stone, nothing to be happy about or glad about. That's something to be ashamed of. And Medusa, I beat you, and I think that means our hang-up between me and you is done. Well, you do know in the Toy Wrestling Federation or the TWF, Ricochet, things are not always done. You know. Well, that's true, Jim Ross. Things are not always done. You know, there's always ongoing. But that's the cool thing about me, because I'm always going too. The sky is what they say, the sky is the end. Well, until you reach the sky, I think I'll be going. So you see yourself going to bigger and greater things, right? Yeah, I see myself going to bigger and greater things. I do. Medusa is only the start, and I'm done with her, and I think I can now go on to something else. Well, that was my talk with Ricochet, who he beat Medusa here in NXT. Back to you, Gene Okerlund. Well, thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with Ricochet here on NXT. Gene Okerlund said, well, Ricochet, the upcoming wrestler that everyone in the Toy Wrestling Federation will be keeping their eyes out for. A young man doing outstanding things, Gene Okerlund says. You're right about that, Trini Kwan said. Ricochet is one of those young men doing outstanding things here in the Toy Wrestling Federation. I don't know, Taz says. Ricochet's got to hang up with Medusa, and I think that hang up is going to be a hang up he's not going to overcome anytime soon. Well, that looks like that is all the time we have here for TWF NXT. I am Gene Okerlund for Trini Kwan and Taz. We hope you like NXT, and we'll see you tomorrow for Dynamite.